Now with our GMA cover story, the hit Inside Out 2 already hitting $1 billion at the box office. A huge hit and sparking conversations at home about how we can talk to our kids about their changing emotions as they grow. Pediatrician Dr. Edith Bracho-Sanchez is joining us to help us out. Doctor, welcome. Thank you for being here because I talk to them all the time. I have a middle school daughter right now, so we're deep in all the new feelings. We saw Inside Out 2 earlier this week, the introduction of anxiety into the picture and envy, of course. But how do we have these conversations with our kids about these new emotions entering the picture?
Yeah, you know what? I love the way that this movie handled it. You can tell that they consulted with some really smart people in the way that they framed the story. But what I would say is to first recognize that anxiety and envy and all these other new emotions are real. There are so many reasons why teens may be feeling anxious these days. This thing that we all have on our sides, right?
Yep.
We all used to come home and just be off. Kids and teens don't get to just be off when they come home. So the first thing is to name it, to recognize that it's real, and then to understand its role. A little bit of anxiety, a touch of anxiety is a good thing. It can keep us sharp. It can help us perform. The problem is when anxiety runs wild and uncontrolled and it's not balanced out by joy. And then reasons that might, or the way that this might present in your child may be being on edge, being tense, difficulty with relaxing, and then at some point difficulty with sleep, right? And headaches, unexplained pains. If any of this is happening, definitely seek professional help.
All of that is happening.
But we were saying earlier,
I'll be calling you later.
The difference of having the phone versus when we were growing up, you could end it, you could shut it off. You didn't know when you were missing out on things.
That's right.
So kids can really challenge their parents in these years. So what should parents keep in perspective? How can they be authoritative yet compassionate with kids going through all of these emotions?
And I love the way that you're asking that, Janae, because you're really trying to balance it out. So the first thing that I would encourage everyone to remember when they have teens at home and tweens is that you remain your child's most trusted source of information and guidance. And what we're going for is balanced parenting or lighthouse parenting. We want to be a stable force that kids can measure themselves against. And then we want to be looking out. Imagine this lighthouse, right? You want to be looking down at the rocks, making sure that our kids are not going to crash. And at the same time, we're looking out at the waves of life, knowing that they're going to learn to ride them because we're going to teach them and we're going to be there for them.
I love that.
And you know, this is not a spoiler because it's right there in the trailer, but there's that puberty button right there on the control room there at Inside Out. How do you even begin to have these conversations around that?
Yeah, Gio, and it's not just one conversation. This is a series of conversations, and it looks different in every household, and it is okay to state our family values. We want to start these conversations early, and we want to say, we are about to go through puberty. We, as a family, we're about to hit adolescence because it doesn't just happen to the teen, it happens to the family. So we want to start that early, and we want to just make sure that we keep the conversation going and remain that stable lighthouse parent that we want our kids to know is there for them.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to reach out later.
I got a few years, but I'm learning from this.
I have so many questions. I got more questions. Dr. Edith, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for being
guys.
here. That was really great.
Yeah.